Mavs fans. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. Joined tonight, special pinch-hitting guest host, Jack Nowicki. He's a recent new addition to the Mavs Moneyball staff. Jack, how are you?
Doing good. Good to come on after a Mavericks win, after last night's debacle. So thankfully they won tonight.
And you and I were on the same page in our Mavs Moneyball Slack because the first shot of the game was an AD airball that was wide right and short by about 3 feet. So the fact that the Mavericks came back and really played, I don't know. I feel like I'm maybe over indexing on some of these recent wins, but like each one feels better and different than the last. And I think that from a I watch 82 games a year standpoint, I needed them to perform well in this game after that Oklahoma City shit kicking. Like that game last night was just, it was so disappointing in so many different ways. And this game felt just like a total 180 to where they were back playing how they played against the against the Nuggets. That Nuggets game was just really enthralling. And this was just a nice way to head into a very weird 6-day break in the middle of the season.
Yeah, like I don't know why losing to the Thunder just makes my blood boil. Like I've not been mad since the Wizards game 2. I went to that game in the pouring rain, and oh man, that game was awful. The rest of the year, I've just been kind of like, I don't care if they win or lose, just Cooper play well. But yeah, that game was terrible. But tonight, I felt like I was watching one team that had both teams have like a 6-day break because of the cup. One team knew like, let's play as hard as we can because we have this break. The other team was like, let's get ready for Cancun during this break. That's how I felt. Like the Rockets just felt like they didn't care about this game, and the Mavericks like needed this win. So it was a great win though. So
the first quarter went the kind of way where I think for the first 8 minutes of the first quarter might have been the best the Mavericks have looked in a first quarter all year. They've had these sort of traditionally maddening starts, and then they get it together and make rallies, where instead they punched the Rockets in the mouth. They were up 19-8 very quickly. And it was kind of shocking, to be honest with you. Andrew Nembhard pressing the ball, that shouldn't be shocking to me at this point after 5 games. But really nice to see him moving. The Rockets had some kind of weird turnovers. And then, you're paying attention to the game, and I was like getting up and down just because I was like eating dinner while I was watching it. And all of a sudden, I look at the box score, and KD is 6 of 8 from the floor, and the Mavericks are down by 2. And I'm wondering what the hell happens. Then all of a sudden, they're behind, and it's like, okay, my brain had sort of gone to the place of, well, the Mavericks had their nice start, and now the Rockets are just going to beat their ass. And instead, they got a really kind of ridiculous buzzer beater to go down. It was 27 up. Or no, that was the Rockets that rallied all the way back to tie it at the end of the first quarter. And then it just kind of became – second quarter was good basketball between the two teams. Like the Mavericks, that was the one where it was tied at halftime. I think they were tied, right? Yeah, they were tied. Yeah, that was –
57.
I think the third quarter is where
the third quarter they won 37-20. That's when they just got all the steals and just kept running the entire quarter.
I wrote a sarcastically titled sub-headline in the recap tonight where I said, now you can see the vision, specifically and specifically focusing on that third quarter because
that was the vision. Like I mean, nuts. We can laugh at Nico, and I'm not going to get into the trade, but the third quarter is what you anticipated, where you have the Cooper, PJ, AD trio and just wrecking havoc, and then just getting out in transition, running, and then just overwhelming the Rockets with size. Now, they didn't have their bigs, but I mean, that was kind of what I thought that you're going to see this quarter, that third quarter, way more this season.
And so the first 4 to 5 minutes, the teams are essentially trading baskets, and the Mavericks have this kind of sloppy backcourt turnover, and Clint Capella dunks it to give the Rockets a 3-point lead. So 68-65. And then the Rockets lost the ability to play offense for probably 6 possessions where they had 4 turnovers out of 5 possessions, and they weren't dead ball turnovers. They were the kind that we always bitch about.
Just steal and dunk.
The PJ Washington must have had 3. I can't even remember, where it just steal dunk, steal dunk, steal dunk. It kind of felt like, now that I think about it, it felt like what happens in some of these. I watch a lot of youth and high school basketball games around here where teams just get stuck in the mud all of a sudden and then they're down. And that was an incredible stretch of basketball where the Mavericks are up, the Rockets call a timeout, they score out of the timeout. It's like, okay, well, maybe the Rockets will get this game back under control. And at that point, they had lost any and all ability to stop the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, I was kind of shocked where I've one window open on the game, so I'm watching on my computer, and then I'm writing about the game too. And then the Mavericks are up 17 to end the quarter. I mean, the third quarter is so funny. It's such like a stark contrast to the Oklahoma City third quarter.
Okay, my thing is that was an OKC quarter. That third quarter, that is what the Thunder do. It's a 4-point game. 6 minutes later, it's 17. The game's over, and that's exactly what the Thunder do. Just steal. They get out and run. And then that gets you in such a good rhythm offensively where you're so confident because you're getting all these easy baskets that all of a sudden Najee Marshall's hitting, pull-up threes in transition.
So am I crazy? I feel like Najee's hitting at a higher clip from 3 this year. I've not checked his stats because last year he shot 29%.
Yeah. So he's shooting 31%. I agree. It does feel like he's making way when he's shooting 31%, but I wonder – how's he been it feels like the last 10 games he's been shooting. Really
there was a stretch to start the year last year where he just didn't hit a 3. And
it was November. It was one of those months.
It was 9 games in a row where he didn't hit a 3, and then he finally made one. But that 3 to close out the third quarter was just a real emphatic point on what the Mavericks have been doing. So they roll it over into the fourth quarter, and at this point I had sort of clicked away from the game entirely. I was pretty sure the Mavericks were going to win. I was pretty sure another run from Houston was coming. And we were still a pretty entertaining quarter where the Mavericks get up by as many as 22. And then, as is sort of natural for a team, they stop pressing their advantage.
Yeah.
Kids and, I used to blame Luka, but the kids sort of started running let's run these possessions down and try to get out of here kind of off.
Oh man, when Luka did that, where he would just dribble on the wing and then just step back 3. Oh, that just drove me crazy.
And instead, what happened to the Mavericks is they did what the Rockets did in the third quarter, where they turned it over 3 times in a row, and all of a sudden the Mavericks are only up by 11. There's about 5 minutes left in the game, and I thought, to me, this was the play of the game that the play that I'm going to think about the most, even though there's a lot of good stuff that happened in this game. After it was either a missed shot or kind of semi-transition opportunity. Amen Thompson, who was plagued in foul trouble all game, pushes the ball up the left side of the floor, and Brandon Williams is the only one near him.
Oh, that play. Yeah.
Brandon Williams essentially just it's like a sellout on if he had missed this steal,
dunk.
And I Grant Afseth of Dallas Hoops Journal got it on video from up in his Sting portion of the rafters where he watches the games, and you see it from above. And I still don't understand how Williams didn't foul him, because for anybody that hasn't watched Amen Thompson enough, he's a top 3 athlete and he's so fast. Yeah. And Williams just ducks under him. It's like this isn't a good comparison, but the only thing I can think of is when a defensive end sometimes steps back and snags an interception from a quarterback.
Where it's like that's just not supposed to happen.
It's just not supposed to happen. And it's like Amen didn't even see him because he picked the pocket so clean. And that, there's 3 minutes left. The Rockets made and the Mavericks were able to put some points on the board. There were obviously some more things that happened, but that seemed to really seal the game. And that was when I started writing in earnest and was trying to get here on time for the podcast.
Yeah. So, that stretch, they get it down to 11, the Rockets, where the Mavs are just kind of floating, turning the ball over in the backcourt. They get a free throw. Then Coop hits that little midi pull up. Then they get that steal. Then they get that floater. And I was like, all right, they're going to win. Because it was the middle of that fourth quarter. It's is this going to be another clutch game? But that little stretch just kind of sealed it.
It was really nice. All right, we're about I don't know, 11 minutes into this bad boy. I promised Jack I wouldn't keep him too long, but that's kind of a clean break. We're going to take a break here, insert some ads. Remember, there's 3 ways you can support the show. Listen to the ads, helps Josh and I out. You can tell your friends about the show because it's really the only way this show grows is through organic listenership anyways. And then the third way is there's some links that are posted. If you want to support the show directly, I'm going to insert some ads in the audio stream. And then Jack and I will kind of come back here and talk about just kind of whatever we wanted to from this game, because there's a lot of different ways we could go. So we'll be right back. All right. Thanks so much. If you've not subscribed to the show, please consider doing so. It helps me out, lets me know kind of the interest of the audience. I will be hosting a secondary show where if you haven't joined it, this one will be called Mavs Party, but we do Mavs Party and group therapy where you can just come talk about the game a little bit. It's no different than what Jack did to join the show. I sent him a link and you click the link and you can kind of do it from whatever device that you have. It is a lot easier than people think.
Yes.
So consider that, and we'll be doing that after the game. I'll let Jack go get on with his Friday, or I guess it is Saturday. All right, where should we start? Because now, like this second half of the show, it's just I think I owe it.
Yeah, let's talk about AD. We gotta be nice. We're haters. We're haters. Let's be nice. Let's be nice.
I prefer pragmatists, but I think you're right. So he in 30 minutes he scored 29 points, 14 and 19 from the field, 8 boards, and then probably more importantly to 2 steals and a block.
Yeah,
and
the defense.
The defense was very important. The offensive, if you go look at his shot chart,
it was all in the paint. Or not all in the paint, but it felt like
19 shots,
7, 8 of those shots were at the rim, and that's what he needs to be.
And that's where it needs to be. And that's what drove me so crazy against Chet Holmgren. He did not want Chet's physicality. And Clint Capella's he's kind of at the goon stage of his career because you saw Clint hit 4 people in the face tonight. I was pretty pleased that Anthony Davis took it right to him. He's not Steven Adams. He's not Alperen Sengun, but you gotta, all you can do is play the people who are in front of you. And it was really nice to see a bounce back AD game because I was ready to send him to the moon following last night's game.
Yeah. What made me so angry during that OKC game from AD is you got J Will on you, and that's kind of the initial line of defense, Chet behind, but you are 6'10", whatever his weight is. Just throw your shoulder into him and live with the results. I'd rather see him take a bad layup than just kick out to the wing where you generate no advantage. Yep. Because there's a good chance you could get fouled, you get a bucket. I don't care. But yeah, in this game, just pushing that advantage. And I mean, the Rockets had no one without Şengün and Adams to guard him, but I thought that was great. And then I just thought defensively, you saw really this game and the Heat game, it's still in him to be a deep defensive player of the year level guy. It's just, I don't know if he can do it nightly anymore. But the defense to me was more important.
I mean, the 10 feet and in kind of thing for me is the dividing line. I mean, he can still cover ground when he chooses to, but sometimes it just feels like he doesn't have the zest to really go for it. Defensively tonight, I think it was our guy Brian, who hopefully will join the show later, said something to the effect of all right, you're getting guarded by either AD, PJ, or Cooper. You get past one of them, then you see either one of the other 2. And then if you look to pass, the third one is somehow in the passing lane. Yeah. And that is the part that I think is really fun about the defensive combo there. The only part, then this is a moderate complaint. Davis is the team's best defensive rebounder, and they were pretty ass at that tonight.
Okay. I felt like half all the offensive rebounds were Josh Okogie and Jayshawn Tate. We're just somehow the ball would just perfectly bounce off of Maverick's hand into theirs. I didn't feel like AD really was that bad on the glass. I felt like it was more of a team just not focusing.
Capella, Okogie, and Thompson had 13 offensive rebounds between the. So it's a little, but look, that's what this team does. You just sort of live with it.
I think offensive rebounding is a team issue, not a single player.
Yeah, and that's what Steven Adams. He would have caused real problems for the Mavericks that he played in this game. But again, it's all I really want. And I don't like that the Mavericks have injuries, but I do. If there's a silver lining to it, it's that we no longer have to act like Anthony Davis is a power forward.
And I tried to convince myself during the offseason. I tried so hard to convince myself, and
I had somebody tell me today that it's like, he was fairly convinced that Detroit was going to try to trade for Anthony Davis because he can play some four. And I said, you watch. I said, you watch all these games. You watch all these games with me, man. Like, we hate when he plays the four. If we as like casual observers don't like it, don't we think NBA teams know that?
Well, there was one guy who thought it would work.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe more, but
that's the hope. But at the same time, like the clarification that comes with watching him play five, and I think he's not really complained about it, which, I mean, there's not anything he can do about it, but it's nice to not see him whinge, because I think that the flag and then the PJ Washington of it all hopefully can take some of the physicality elements that he doesn't like off of his like burden plate. So he doesn't feel like he's having to be the only one down there banging for rebounds.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's mainly, where PJ helps. Cause like Coop tries, but there's so many times he tries to go for a board and it's just like gets hit in the back with a little like chicken wing and just goes flying. But PJ should definitely like help in that regard. But you want to talk about Cooper?
I do. I love
talking Cooper flag.
Give us a soliloquy about his defense tonight, because I don't always discuss it properly, because I just make mistakes, and I want to hear somebody else talk about it for a while.
Yeah, like I felt like Cooper didn't even play a good game offensively. Still had 19 on 15 shots. That's just kind of where he is at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, defensively, like he's just, I don't even know how to describe it. He's just around the ball all the time. Like whether it's, he had 2 blocks, 2 steals in this game, probably had 5 deflections, just always around the ball, always contesting shots, and then just makes, I'd say 5 or 6 plays a game defensively that can just like flip a game where he gets a steal or a block. But it's just, he's constantly around the ball. And I just think like, and it's no coincidence when he's moved to the 4, obviously it's helped his offense, but I think it's helped his defense as well, because he can guard pretty well, like just as pure perimeter defender, one-on-one. But man, when he's roaming that back line, and he was guarding like Amin a lot, they had AD on Amin, and I'm a big fan of Amin Thompson, but man, sometimes when you play these teams with this type of rim protection, they can just completely help off him. But yeah, Cooper defensively was awesome, and then offensively just kind of in the flow, not really forcing it. Shots weren't really falling for him in the first half, but yeah, just kind of what he's doing right now. Just playing good.
There was it had to have been in the second quarter. There was a fast break play where Coop, like he was so quick to the ball. I don't even know how he got the ball. Like I didn't even see him involved.
He got a steal. And
then he's streaking up the left side of the floor, going too fast for his own feet, where he eventually
just falls down.
Yeah, and he stumbles and he regains himself and he scores anyways. And there's just like a level of control that's involved when he's playing, where I'm trying not to get too super psyched when the Mavericks should realistically, it's best if the team gets a high draft pick. But I can't help but wondering, well, who does he remind you of, Jack? Because I just can't.
I don't know. It's like every time I think of a comp, it's like I see some Kawhi in his game, but he's not. I see some LeBron, but he's not that level of athlete. I see Tatum, but he just offensively does not play like Tatum. He's just kind of like this hybrid of all these great wings. And I don't know if he's going to be a great wing. Right. Like he's a rookie, but I think he will be. But it's just, it's tough. And like, I want to hit my favorite traits with Cooper is like, it's very good to be able to run fast and jump high, but his functional athleticism is incredible. His balance, his ability to just kind of not lose control of himself, like you said, that's something that I think is super underrated. Like Shea has some of the best balance I've ever seen. Yeah. Like, and Coop has it as well, where he's just he's able to always stay on balance. He doesn't ever seem just like flailing, like Omax. That felt mean, but yeah, like
that's a good comp for like opposite ends of the spectrum.
Where Omax just no idea how to move.
No
correctly.
body control, no like sense of self when he's playing in the game. That's a good one. I think I like the Kawhi Leonard one, but Kawhi's, and just to be perfectly critical of Kawhi doesn't play hard often enough.
Yeah.
And it's like what if you turn Kawhi's effort level up? And that's what I see when I see Flag.
Yeah.
So
like, I don't know. I don't know who his comp is, honestly, but
sorry,
yeah,
I'm answering our guy Matt in the Slack who says, how do I switch from the non-phone version of this to pod to if I'm on the laptop? There are 2 streams you can choose from, and one of them, when you're in like the YouTube section, there's a little phone icon next to the title, and that's how you choose between the phone version versus the desktop version. So sorry about that. Flag is just, it's nice to have something new and fun to talk about with him in this game. I was going through the stats and then I got distracted. It's pretty amazing the Mavericks won this game despite getting out rebounded the way they did. That's just kind of a recipe.
Turnovers.
Oh yes, that's right. Because
turnovers.
The turnovers is the big one. Over these last 5 games, I did the math real quick. They are averaging just 11 turnovers a game. And they were like 15 and a half before that stretch. We're getting past the small sample size theater, and I want to know where these Mavericks actually settle in terms of turnovers. Like PJ not playing in these games is like a secret balm to that.
Hey, he only had 2. Only had 2 tonight.
He's just
That's
he's
good for PJ.
right, because he's just kind of a turnover machine when he does stuff. It's like you live with it. He's attacking, and it's that's been a key part of it. You know, the Gafford and Lively elements of this, those 2 not playing is probably part of it too, because they pick up the. Do you remember when DeAndre Jordan would like do dumb shit, just like horrible offensive fouls or like shit, and like those are turnovers for players.
Yeah,
so, like the Mavericks just haven't had to deal with those in a while.
But I also think just like having Nimhard, like he was good tonight, but just having that, like a guy who, and he actually had 2 turnovers, but just having a guy who doesn't just throw the ball to the other team like D'Lo does, it is really nice. And then, oh my God, I had one more thought I was going to say. And my last thought here, I am Team Tank, as you probably know from the Slack chat. I'm definitely Team Tank, but I just think, like, I don't know if it sounds crazy, but like, is Coop just kind of too good at this point?
That's what Josh thinks.
That bad.
That's what Josh thinks.
Like, look at Brooklyn, look at Indiana, look at New Orleans. These look at Sacramento, Memphis. These dregs. None of them have a guy like Cooper Flag, and his effort is just contagious. I think. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be frustratingly good this year. Where we look back, like they really won 35 games.
Yeah.
Like, are we serious? But
and I've been dealing, just because I can't help myself, arguing on the old twitter.com with these asshole Oklahoma City fans that are just like, well, nobody would have predicted that the Thunder would have gone from 17 wins to 40 wins. And it's like, guys, you sat Shea Gilgeous-Alexander
every second half for 2 straight years.
It's like it worked, but that happened. It's a thing that happened, and you lost these games. It's like, of course. So it's like, that's what happens when you play more of your guys. And I really think that's like the only actual solution to this problem. And I don't want to
do that. I'm sorry. I don't want to watch this team without Cooper Flag for 20 games.
The Mavericks are too high profile for that.
Yeah.
Sam Presti was able to get away with that crap in Oklahoma because they were bad. And it's fine to be bad if no one cares. But if you start high and drop low, I mean, the Mavericks play Christmas Day. Yeah. There's just no way.
Play? Is it like San Antonio?
It's a 4:00 game, so I think it's like the Warriors. Maybe
is it the Rockets? I think it might be the Rockets.
It's a good game, is what it's going to be, but it's
always a good game.
It's just one of those that throws that.
Warriors. You were right. Yeah, Warriors.
Okay, so it's just sort of thinking about that, and I don't know what they do in that regard, because like, let's be honest, you and I are of the opinion that to trade Anthony Davis for whatever they're happy with. Yeah. You know.
Don't trade him for nothing, but if you get a first and a young player and expiring,
I wonder how much trading Anthony Davis actually affects this team's win-loss margin.
They'll lose more, but they didn't have Clay, they didn't have Derek Lively, they didn't have Daniel Gafford, still no Kyrie, and they still won by 13. I just think Coop and the way they play because they're like this high effort motor team. you're just going to catch teams like the Rockets tonight who just kind of like, we're really good. We don't care. You're going to catch those guys, especially like in like March when half the league doesn't care. So I think that's going to be the problem. I think the only way to like truly bottom out would be Coop's not playing.
That's right.
You don't do that.
That's right. I just sort of implore everyone that's watching just to take it as you can, because we can't control that. So being pissed about it just is going to ruin. I mean, a guy like Cooper, we're sitting here we're not able to make a comparison.
Yeah.
Like we could talk about Luka. It was easy with Luka where it's like, okay, you either think he plays like LeBron James or you think he plays like James Harden.
Yeah.
Like it was there, and it's, variations of a theme, but like Cooper right now, it's like, oh my God, what could this guy be? And that's really fun. All right. This has been a lot of fun. I'm really grateful for you joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
I hope you come back here. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to kick it to the music. I'm going to let Jack go, and then I'm going to share the link for anybody else that wants to join Mavs Party. Head on over to MavsMoneyball.com while you're waiting for that minute here, guys, and see whatever we have posted. Jack, once again, thanks so much. We will look for his work on Mavs Moneyball. We will talk with you at some point again. I'll be happy to have you back. All right?
All right. See you.
All right. Have a good one. Hello, friends. Welcome to Pod Maverick Presents Mavs Party. I am Kirk Henderson. If you're listening on the YouTube, then you just heard me. If you're listening on the audio stream, this might be the last time you hear me for a little bit, because the Mavericks don't play until next Friday, which is a thing that is odd. I'll see if I can figure out a way to make a show in between, but I actually have to go to Washington, D.C. for work, so I'm not sure what's going to happen there. If you haven't listened to Josh and I's show, please consider doing so. If you're interested in joining this show, there's a link in the notes. I need to actually go pin that link here on YouTube. It's an easy onboarding thing. You just click through, and it's like you would be joining a meeting at work, et cetera, et cetera. So I really recommend doing it, not just because it's my show, but because I do like talking to you people. So let me bring up my buddy Glenn, who's waiting first. Glenn, how are you?
Hey, Kirk. Good evening. What a great game, huh?
I had a good time. Last night's game, not so much.
No, last night's game had me pissed off. And it was good, just therapy-wise. I just turned it off last night and said, it's Oklahoma. They're 21-1. I'm just going to accept the L, and that's cool. And then, then tonight I was not expecting a win, and I'm very pleased. Let me start off, though, by saying the one thing that would have destroyed me, and that is with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, we had a technical foul on the Houston coach.
Yes.
And they let AD take the free throw. If we'd have lost that game by 1 point, I would have lost my mind. He's a 70% free throw shooter. Don't you get to choose who shoots the free throw at that point?
And Kid is notorious for this. Like, I remember there's this one writer on the internet who used to be a Mavs data guy who always said that Kid would always choose Luka to shoot free throws. Kid would choose whoever in the Sam hell he wants, because I think in this case he might have been trying to get AD to 30 points because he had 29. And he just kind of goes with this gut. He's like, who wants to shoot it? And part of me likes that. The other part of me is like,
no,
the Kevin Durant's on the other team, guys. Like, let's take this a little more seriously. But hey, they won anyways. And
they won anyway. But Kirk, AD is not Luka. AD is a 70% free throw shooter. It's not okay. We have guys on the team. I don't know what is B Will, like 85%.
I see. Flag is the one I want beating them.
Fine. Yeah, sure. Flag is a very good free throw shooter. 70% is not acceptable. Like, are we going to be serious about winning here? Every point counts.
I mean, look, that's the challenge with Jason Kidd coach's team is like you want to say every win and every game counts, and like I just never. That's what I Kidd drives me crazy with this because if he very clearly makes it known that it is not that serious to him because there's 81 others, beyond the one that he's coaching tonight. You
used all your mulligans here. That's okay when you're 12-12 or whatever. Yeah. But this team is 8-16. Every point counts. Every if you want to be serious, like okay, if you're saying to yourself like, yeah, we're just trying to tank casually here, then that's fine. But that's not acceptable if you're trying to win games. That point could have I'm surprised that point didn't come down because that's my next point, which is I'm a Kidd fan.
Sure.
I'm a Kidd supporter. The one area where I despise Kidd in the past, however, has been at protecting leads in games like this. And maybe I'm going to give credit tonight. Maybe it wasn't Kidd that was the problem. Maybe it was Luka and Dinwiddie. Because those two guys,
the historical ghost hanging over the run the clock offense.
Yeah. Dinwiddie would drive me nuts. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 and a half, jack up something that was not going to go in, and then watch the lead dwindle.
Yeah.
That
part's difficult because there's a natural instinct, I think, to sort of take your foot off the gas, particularly when you just want to get out both healthy and with a win. But it's just really hard to regain aggression once you've lost it. And that's what made that Brandon Williams steal so cool to me when he just pickpocketed Amen Thompson, because if he doesn't make that play, I think it becomes a 9-point game at that point because he was just a free reign for a dunk. And then you get it under 10 and there's like a psychological thing going on where everybody starts kind of second guessing stuff. I mean, that's just part of it.
I absolutely love these guys, and I'm so pleased that they managed to hold on to a lead. And maybe it was Luka and Dinwiddie. Okay.
I love it.
I'll take that. Dwight Powell is the utility tool that I have at the bottom of my drawer that I use sometimes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's got like a knife on it and a corkscrew and a few other things. And I hate him. Am I the only Mavericks fan that hates Dwight Powell? Probably.
Oh, no. He's just been around too long. And, a guy that he's a reminder of things like that haven't worked in the past. And so when he does something ridiculous, there's one of those games like earlier in the week where he had 6 steals. And it's like, what is going on? And he's almost like a mascot. I mean, you've worked in your particular industry for a really long time, and I'm sure there's a guy that works in my office who has worked in the building for 35 years, and the joke is just like, oh, he comes with it. He's part of the, and that's how I feel about Dwight Powell.
Right?
He's just
he
the
comes
guy
with the building,
right? And he's gonna get his own statue. It might be like 3.5 feet tall. And like of his face getting punched or something, but like that's just part of it with Powell. Someone in the chat says Powell is inevitable.
I appreciate his longevity and his willingness to take charges, but fuck, it's like he just gets shoved out of the way. He is not useful at stopping guys from driving and dribbling right into him, and I hate it whenever he's out there. I'm sorry, Mavericks fans. I know y'all love him, but he's just, and I think it was last night where I was thinking that same thing about how he got an open dunk and he misses the open dunk, and I'm like, yeah, that's all he ever takes is dunks, and then he misses the dunks. And so y'all think he's great because he's a 60% shooter or whatever, but they're all dunks.
It's great stuff.
A couple other things just quickly. So the lineup that has both D'Lo and Nemby in it, why are we letting D'Lo take the ball up the court when Nemby is in the game? What is the point of having both of them in the game if Nemby is, if D'Lo is going to be the point guard?
I don't think he's supposed to. Mm-hmm. D'Angelo Russell minutes lately have been exclusively tied to another point guard also being out there.
Yeah.
So that his decision tree, this was his worst game in a while. 3 turnovers in 13 minutes. He was handling the ball a little more. I'm wondering if Kid just wanted to try something because Kid does that. But it was a pretty rough outing for D'Lo. Now, let me ask you this. Did you catch him in the left corner after a Jaden Hardy 3-point attempt? Hardy shoots this awful 3 that just clangs. After the Rockets get the rebound, you see D'Lo in the corner just standing there, and he takes a practice shot without the ball as the Rockets are streaking up the floor. I'll send you a clip of it later. I'll send you a Twitter. Yes, it is so absurd that it's like something somebody would do at like the end of a pickup run where it's like, don't do that. We're trying to get out of here with a win kind of thing. And it's like this guy just has no self-awareness. It's the best. It's the best.
Okay. Look, I think D'Lo has a role on this team and it's great, but not when you have another point guard in the game and you let him play point guard. I think he brings some things to the table off guard, off point. I heard your discussion earlier. I don't think we can compare Cooper Flag to anyone else. I don't think so. I think he's just a unique player.
Pretty fun.
He's a new species. It's like, Darwinism in action here, where we've developed a new species of player, and that's him. So that's pretty cool. Hey, one other thing here on my list. I know you're not a Nico fan, and I'm not a huge Nico fan. Believe me, I'm not defending the trade, but let's give him some credit for developing the bottom of the roster. He's a lot better than Donnie Nelson at developing the bottom. These guys that are playing at the bottom are
that's
really
what made
impressive.
The trade so insane is like they built such a nice roster and then they traded the part that matters because it's like Najee Marshall is a great signing. Like he is a invaluable part of, and when you say bottom, I think you're more meaning like anybody outside of the starting, like the top 5 to 6. Because
I include Najee in that. That's a great one. B Will, for example, certainly Nemby, Musa Cisse is impressive.
Yeah.
All of these guys, like if people go back to remembering what it was like under Donnie Nelson when we had Theo Pinson just over there twiddling his flag and stuff, like the guys that were on the bottom of the roster back then were not of usefulness to the team. And so you do need to give.
You remember after the bubble where the Mavericks, like they signed 3 or 4 guys that were just awful, but happened to play like 6 good games in the bubble. And it's like, no, like the other, every single person on this roster, I don't have an issue with anybody getting minutes. Like I'm not to that point where there were, it was Willie Cauley-Stein. He's probably my favorite one that I hated the most, where it's just like he was big for nothing and just it didn't work.
Well, that's another thing is that people think it's easy to find a center, but Donnie Nelson could not find us a center for years and years. Guys like Samuel Dalembert.
Remember Mark Followill's amazing, like horrible, the Sam Slam every time he would dunk it. Just like a plague on my ears.
Yeah. So some credit to Nico, although we all obviously are dismayed with the trade. Although I'm starting to believe more and more that the league came to him and said, hey, here's the deal. If you trade Luka to the Lakers, we're going to make sure you get Cooper Flag. We're going to referee all your games to make sure that you get a lottery pick. And then we're going to force the lottery pick to you. And sorry if you lose your job over this, but this is what we're going to do. So I don't know. I'm starting to think that's maybe a possibility that could have happened. Well, and I like Cooper Flag so much that if that was the case, that I'm kind of okay with it. I mean, come on. Luka's a generational player, once in a lifetime, but golly, Cooper Flag is he's a new species. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that. Last thing is that Texas beat 3 teams in the top 10. The Texas should be in the college football playoffs, damn it.
But isn't it nice?
Off
Isn't it
topic.
nice for you to be able to say, like, to be able to just like from the what is it, Statler and Waldorf, the Muppets, like just to be able to talk your shit and not actually
Yeah.
have to be in a game of meaning. That's
Yeah,
kind of nice
sure.
because I have a lot of Texas friends here. Like Arch Manning will be able to get stronger. Hopefully, he shouldn't go in the draft. Texas will find one more offensive lineman so he doesn't die. And then next year they will have the ability to climb out of their mess. So that's
Absolutely. But when you guys complain about how, well, if you don't let Alabama in the playoffs, then why are you doing conference championship games? Correct. We don't need conference championships games anymore. We have a playoff system now. So the top 4 teams in the SEC should automatically get in, and then 4 more teams should play in a play-in tournament. And we do not need a conference championship anymore. So that's fine.
Well, hey,
Hook 'em
glad you joined the
horns.
show. Okay.
Thank you, Kirk. Great night. Have a good one.
All right. Have a good one. All right. I'm going to insert my ads real quick before I bring on Mr. Cam and then Mr. Green. So hang out, listen to those ads. If you want to support the show more directly, you can tell your friends about us. Me, Josh. You know, we also have to bully Josh into staying because Josh is tired of podcasting with me after all these years. No, it's just this is getting hard to do. So the support that we've received for the show this year has been quite nice. All right, so we'll be right back. Okay, coming up next, Mr. Cam. Cam, how you doing, buddy?
Do good, sir. How are you?
I'm great. Did you enjoy that one? I think we earned it.
I did, man. Like that second half, especially that third quarter was special. Man, like, man, that defense, man. But it is. I still want to trade AD because even though I still think we can compete with like other teams, I just don't see us beating OKC. So it's just, even though I'll take the win happily, I just like, and in the back of my mind is like, man, neither of these teams will beat OKC. So we might as well just trade AD.
Let me ask you a question. How old are you by chance?
24.
24. Okay. This is a great age for not to, because I'm about 15 years older. More than that. I'm 41. I spent my teenage years right up until, so I was about 24 when the Mavericks lost in the finals. And I remember being so mad watching. And then as I got older, I was like, you know what? I enjoyed watching so many of these teams. And my thought is like, if you're going to watch all these games, we have to find reasons to watch. And I agree with you that right. So if you're so the question I would ask is, do we think the Mavericks are building towards something?
Honestly, I think so, man. Because man, Cooper and Nimby, like, and even Moosey, man, like these young and Christie, like these young guys, man, they have something, man. Like I can see them being really competitive. Like it's just they're just too young. They're not ready yet.
Sure,
so
and that's fine. Yeah. That's fine.
So I do feel like kind of like OKC, like 2021, 2022, OKC, and it's like, and I do agree with your point and the other guy's point. Like Coop is so good. It's same with Luka. Like Luka and Coop are so good that we just can't. We're not gonna lose enough games. So it's like, I just don't know, man. Because I want that. Because I want a lottery pick. It's just, especially in this year's draft. But Luka, when Coop and Nimby are just so good that I just don't know, man. Like if we lose games,
right?
But it's like we may have to sit them. But it's like, but I've also kind of the back of my mind just looking at the Wizards, and it's like I also want to tank, but I don't want to create a losing culture, man. Because with New Orleans and the Wizards, they have like lottery picks every year, and it's like that losing culture is just never like. I mean, like a few days ago, the Wizards lost by 40 points to the Celtics without Jaylen Brown. Like that, I just don't know, man, because I don't want to create that level of just not care at all, but I also want to lose. I don't know what to do because
you want the lottery pick, but you want to enjoy watching the basketball if you're gonna invest this much
yeah,
time.
I want the lottery pick, but I don't want to create just a don't care losing culture
Yes.
like the
I understand.
Wizards have, like the Nets have,
Well,
'Cause-
some of this stuff self-selects. Like, I really liked tonight's win. Okay. The Mavericks shot 60% from the floor.
Oh yeah.
There's elements in these wins where if you want to be a Debbie Downer and be like, well, it's kind of luck. Some of this is kind of luck.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean, and it's 80 games. Like some games are going to be like this, and you'll happily take those wins. So, but gosh, man, it's so hard because like you can see the vision, but it's hard to really believe in it because of one, injuries, and two, just having the Thunder game back to back in this game. It's just like a total, just like yin yang of just like, oh, it's so over and over back. It's hard to really wrap your head around what this team truly is.
That's true. And that's why I think going out on a win for a 6-day break it's the sort of thing where
and a blowout one too. Like that's a really good feeling.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. And sometimes I think you got to lean in on that sort of stuff. They come back, they play Brooklyn, they play Utah. Those are both 2 games they should win. And then all of a sudden they're going to be like they're going to be 5 or 6 games under 500, and it's like, that's interesting. And but I don't know. There's just stretches of the season where they're just going to get their asses whipped. I mean, Houston sat 2 guys tonight who probably could have played because I think they thought they could have beaten the Mavericks.
Well, to be fair though, like we have a bunch of injuries too, so I was like it's not like so they can try to play the injury card, but don't play it. Like you cannot use that excuse against this team. You know what I'm saying? So. Like they lost fair and square. Like they had injuries. We have injuries as well. It's just, gosh, KD's so good, but he's just such like a. I don't know why. He's such like. He's good, but he's not looking good. Like means like he's not. He doesn't dictate wins. Like you can just give him his buckets and like today. We gave him his buckets, but we still blew him out because he's not a force multiplier.
Yeah.
So like, seeing Cooper right next to him, it's just like, gosh, like I would rather if they were both young. I was hoping not to sound crazy, but I'd rather take a young Cooper over a young KD if that makes sense. Because it's just KD's just not. He's not a force multiplier. Like he is like if it's a cake, he is the frosting. Like he's not the cake.
Sure.
If that makes sense. Like he is the final piece. Yeah. And with the healthy Şengün, that's fine, but without him,
he was asked. He's not capable because
he's not capable of carrying a team.
Yeah, not for 2 nights in a row on a back-to-back, which is what they asked of him tonight. So
yeah, man, that was a fun game, man. Like
good.
This was a great B-Will game too. Like that one fake where he just faked out KD, man. Like when he's on, man. But he still has a 3-point shot. I don't know what happened because last year he had a pretty good. I think is it the hamstring strain from preseason that kind of messed it up. I don't know what happened to his 3-point shot this year.
For which guy? Brandon Williams?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a mental element of it. So he got into a funk and then he hit one last night. I think his shot looks fine.
Yeah. So some of it is bad luck because some of it just like rims in and out.
Sure.
So I think some of it is just bad luck, man. But it was a great win. It was a great 80 win. Like this brings 80 trade value back up, and like I'm still on the trade 80 train, but this was a good win. Like hopefully maybe a a team bites on it, and maybe we can sit Coop like at the end of the year, like maybe like kind of like what we did, take it lively, like the last few games, maybe like sit him, for a mystery injury, like maybe we could sit him for like his thumb, like the last few games of the year,
I think they'd be
'cause-
willing to try something like that. It's just
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get to like the Oklahoma City thing where they were sitting Shea like 25 games.
yeah, because man, I want a lottery pick this year, man.
I understand.
Because
I understand, but look, I'll tell you this: if you don't like, I think there are enough interesting guards
yeah.
where even if the Mavericks pick like 12 to 14, I think they have an
Yeah.
opportunity to get
Yeah,
somebody that they'd be happy with.
Yeah, this year's draft, man. Like honestly, if you go anywhere in the top 10, I'm good.
Yep.
Like because even like 11, 12, because like Jalen Johnson went like 19, and he is
Amazing.
a superstar. Yeah, so
amazing. What is up with
so-
these Duke? It's funny. The only Duke forward of recent years who's disappointing is Paolo Banchero.
Paolo's not bad.
He got hurt and the Magic picked it up.
I also say like Jaleel Okafor as well.
That's true. I've not thought about Okafor in a long time.
Yeah, like and Cam Boozer, like he's kind of like similar to Coop. He has a high motor, but Coop's more athletic than him.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's kind of overrated in my opinion. Like he's not bad, but he's not athletic enough to really.
So it's there's a
top three
difference.
pick.
He's fun to watch right now because he's beating guys who he's more athletic than, but then he comes in the league and it's like unless he develops like a Zebo kind of game where he's just like outpowering everyone, I don't know what he does that is worth a top 5 pick.
Yeah. But he does have a high motor though, so like that will help him. So like he's not lazy.
No, he's a cool story. Those twins are a real cool story. I've somehow followed them forever because I knew about Carlos Boozer's, because he and his wife were pretty open about the fact that their older son had sickle cell. And I remember reading all this stuff at like my first job when I was like your age, like about because back in the mid 2000s, there was simply like I had like ESPN. There's just nothing to read online. So it's like I was like stuff like that with like the human interest stories. I remember reading all about it. So, well, hey man, I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully talk soon, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right, coming up next, my man, Mr. Green. How are you?
I'm good, Kirk. How are you, buddy?
Good. It's only about 11 o'clock here, so I'll be able to get a good night's sleep when we're done here.
Good.
Yeah.
Beautiful, mate. You look like you need one.
Wow. No, there's just like some days where it's so it's the portion of winter where I've not yet gotten used to the fact that it's cold. So every day is kind of bleak and gray, and I'm just like, I didn't shave this morning like at all. Like I like the neck beard, so it's just been dragging through the day. This is why I say I have a face for radio. Okay.
And we're the exact opposite, Kirk. So, we had our first 100-degree day just the other day, and we're just getting into the swing of it. So, yeah, the exact opposite, mate. The start of summer here was the 1st of December. So I'd imagine your start of winter was the 1st of December.
It's fine. Like Texas winters are for like I used to live in an area of the country where it would get regularly like right at 0 Fahrenheit, which I can't even remember what that is Celsius, but it's awful. And here it's fine. It doesn't even drop below freezing, but maybe 20 days a year. But I have adapted and I'm now a sissy. So yeah, it's the problem.
Aircon, mate. Aircon's a wonderful invention.
That's right. That's right. So what's up? Did you like that one?
I did. Makes me worry though, because the whole Rockets team shot over 50%, except for Amen Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Amen had 31 last night, and he shot 2 of 11 against us tonight. Now, he's got an ugly-looking shot, man. Both of those twins have got ugly-looking shots, but they bring, obviously, a lot to the table. But when the entire team shoots over 50% against you, this hyped up Dallas defense, yeah, there's some good defensive plays, but it's not really harboring the results. You know
Right.
what I mean?
I agree. I agree because if he doesn't get in foul trouble, I don't think this game goes the way it did because he was out during that third quarter stretch when the Mavericks went ballistic. And he's just such a forceful player, even when he's not very efficient, that you got to kind of keep an eye on him, particularly around the basket. I mean, I've had his stats up earlier, but he had 4 offensive rebounds. And I was sitting there like screaming at my TV. No, did he have 4? Yeah, he had 4 offensive rebounds in 30 minutes.
Mate, he might have one of the top 10 plays of the year with that block on AD. We might find that at the end of the season.
I've never seen something like that with players of that skill level. It doesn't happen very much where guys even try to go for the block, let alone get it.
It was a terrible pass. It was a terrible pass. It was amazing that AD actually caught the ball, but I think he had too much time. Did he seem
like surprised that he was that open? Like he was like looking around, like
yeah, big time. Because I think he was looking at shooting it out to the corner for a 3, and then he said, "Oh, I'm half a step here," and Amen was like 2.5 steps away. But man, that kid, oh my goodness, he's got some springs on those heels, man, for sure. So. He was the reason why the Rockets couldn't get it going, and to be without Adams and I suppose like Adams and Lively almost cancel each other out. Similar ilk of game, but yeah, if we're ever going to win, it was going to be without Şengün, wasn't it?
He is so good, and the Mavericks would have had very little chance if Şengün played tonight. Because Davis does it's not even Davis's fault. It's just a guy like that is built to sort of carve through a team like the Mavericks that can't, in most cases, can't score enough.
He's just the ultimate disruptor.
Yeah.
When he enters the court, things have to change. And if you don't change them, then their best shot's a miss shot. Just Adams get an offensive rebound and shoot it out for an open 3 or just put it back in the hole.
And that's where the previous caller Cam was noting that Kevin Durant was asked to do too much, whereas when Şengün plays, I think the load on him is so light he can just go out there and connect on these open shots. Where it's like if the Thunder make a real run this year, it shouldn't surprise anyone because they're built a very specific way, but it's a way that's hard to stop.
Man, KD was unreal tonight, in my opinion. Like, that guy is 100% unguardable, and he just waits. And, the patience that he has, and he'll just lull backwards and forwards. And PJ's a good defender, but, man, it was like no one was there. It was just like shooting warm-up shots in the gym. And he doesn't hit the rim much, old KD. It's just the bottom of the net every time. He's got such an amazing form for his build,
Yeah, I've always liked watching him play.
I hate watching him play our team, but yeah, he's a great watch. Fuck, man, it's so infuriating because you can't do anything with him. I would have put Coop on him a bit more.
I would have liked to have seen it. Yeah.
I suppose they want Coop's foot speed just to, nullify the Armin Thompsons and the Josh Okogis. I mean, that's a horrible fucking lineup. Holiday, Okogie.
The threes they were shooting felt like the threes the Mavericks were taking during the opening games of the year where it was like lead balloon at the rim where it's like you just know they weren't going down.
Well, no team got over 10 threes tonight. I think we had 7 and maybe they had 9. But one player that still has me scratching my head, Kirk, for Houston is Reed Shepherd. Like, it looked like he came out and started smoking us. Absolutely smoking us. And then, man, that guy must have the shortest, lowest motor. And maybe that's why he doesn't get, his coach is obviously a tough nut, but he just doesn't have the juice, does he? He can come out and give you like 5 or 6 minutes of just awesomeness and then just a non-factor for every other minute that he was on the floor.
Which is saying something because there's an opening for him as an off the ball or as an on ball like creator, and he just has to press a little more. And he was playing really timid. It was pretty. The Mavericks got because I really thought he was going to come alive and just rip the Mavericks a new one, and he hit 2 shots and then kind of didn't do anything.
Well, he hit that big 3. He got that huge dunk.
The dunk was pretty good.
Yeah. But then he just turned it off, just went soft. And I suppose, who would you rather have, Nemby or Reed Shepherd?
Yes. Nemby, I think.
Yeah, I think anyone would pick that way. So incredibly lucky that we found old Nemby at a bus stop, mate,
Yes.
You know how I thought he was getting a flight home, end up picking him up at the bus stop, the poor bugger, but you get that on the big jobs, mate.
Yeah.
But mate, I hate to see big games from B Will, man. He's definitely not one of my favorites. He's like a confident Jaden Hardy with a slightly better handle.
Yep.
Loves to shoot. I don't like us having wins where we shoot 60%. B Will goes off for 20, and one of the best guys on the opposing team goes from 31 points the night before to what did Thompson end up finishing with? Like 7 points, 9 points?
I have it up. It's negative 14, 7 points. Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly. But like I said, man, we're all beaten up with half of our roster people that we'd want sitting on the bench. So to not have Clay tonight to throw in a few extra threes, it's amazing when Clay doesn't play and we don't hit 10 threes, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that Clay is them winning a game without him, because he's been pretty good lately, is very underrated.
Yeah, I agree. And these guys that want a high draft pick in the draft and all, I understand all that, but the only way to make the Dallas Mavericks a team that can't win enough and go into that tankathon is if you were to get rid of PJ or Najee or both. I think if that happens, we're in trouble, because we're going to watch some pretty average basketball for the rest of the season if either one of those or both of those guys go.
Yeah.
Because
PJ can't go because of when he was signed. He's going to be on the roster the whole year. But Najee is got to be somebody that
because the thing that holds. Sorry, mate, we had a little bit of a lag there.
That's okay. Go ahead.
The only thing that PJ and Najee back from ever being all-star level players is what I was saying before about Nemhard, just like passing to a teammate in the shooting pocket, just having that awesome delivery of the passing.
Yep.
That's the only skills that those two guys lack. And PJ's probably got a weaker handle than Najee, but man, they are the two guys that could have helped us with a Luka-led Mavericks. They are the two guys, and we had both of them, and it's just it's upsetting to see them have to play well above their pay grade in a different structure to look successful. But both of them look great tonight, Kirk. I thought both of them played really well.
I agree.
Najee's just money anywhere inside the paint, and he's got such good first step and second step moves. But he's offensively aggressive like Peach. Both of them are very similar players to me. You can substitute one out for the other. But yeah, man, I enjoyed the win. I hope you did.
I did. I'm not gonna trouble myself with, the roster the schedule that they have coming up. They play they play against the Brooklyn Nets, who are just bizarre, and shouldn't win. But then again, Michael Porter Jr. is right, and then they play Utah, who has zero incentive to win basketball games. So it's like if they're 11-16, then by the middle of next week, whenever because they play Friday, they have 6 days off, then they play Friday and Monday. if they're 11-16 and then they're getting closer to Christmas and it's like, oh well, the Mavericks might be having a run in them, and maybe, but it's for a run to what? So it's like I think I'm going to enjoy the individual games and try not to worry too much about the other stuff, because I think they start making roster changes at some point. Someone in my Twitter DMs just said, what are they going to do in order to keep Nembhard by mid-January? Because they're on record. Well, Mark Stein says that they are going to sign him to a contract, like a full contract. Well, in order to do that, they have to clear salary. They don't have an ability to do that. They have zero means. They have no second round picks that they can send out to someone, as a sweetener for eating a bad contract. So things are going to get weird.
Kirk, what you're saying, just so I understand it better, if they were to say waive Exum, right? So can they apply for an injured player?
I don't think they can, not until a certain point in the year. It's like the way it was explained to me is there's just like certain calendar dates that matter. And one of those is like December 15th. One of them is January 15th in relation to these sorts of things. Andrew Nembhard has 50 games of eligibility with the actual Mavericks before they can't play him. And so, yeah, Rodriguez in the chat says they can sign him in late January. And so in order to do that, they need to have a spot, and I just don't see how they come up with that spot. A lot of what they do are doing soon or what they need to do requires an element of timing and execution that I don't know if they can get it done by. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, logically, Exum's spot is the slot allocation. You know what I mean? So Dante Exum's spot, he can't play. That's the actual spot. It's just getting the finances to mesh, I suppose, as you said. So,
and I hate even having to talk about that because I'm not interested in that part of this.
Of course. I thought you would have had I thought you might have been able to educate me a little bit on the.
No, we had a guy. There's a guy that was part of. There's a guy that was part of my site that loved the collective bargaining agreement and knew all about it, and he just hasn't been around much this year. And then, you got there's folks in our chat that are commenting on it, and I just haven't bothered to learn the nuances. I probably should, but oh well, ignorance can be bliss sometimes.
Hey, all you're going to do is learn facts that your hypothetical deals could go down. Like, you know what I mean? You don't know what the Mavericks are going to do.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that the Dallas Mavericks were the one who gave Nemby his opportunity. No one else. So we're not fighting against anyone else. It sounded like he wanted to be here. That's what it sounded like. But I didn't realize he's a Mount Vert guy. I didn't realize he played with Cunningham, Duran, all those guys at Cape Verde. So, I listened to the mismatch a fair bit. So, Verno was quite up to date with who was on that team, and he reckons it was like the best high school team ever assembled. Close, And he was the starting point guard. Nembhard was the starting point guard on that team. So, I'm not stressing about Nembhard at all. What's the worst that can happen? He plays 50 games for Dallas Mavericks this year. That's the worst that can happen, isn't it?
That's true.
And he didn't play in the first half a dozen, as far as I'm aware. He was injured for a bit.
But he was on the team, and I don't understand why they didn't send. This is like some nonsense stuff with roster management. But if you send a guy back to a G League team, it doesn't count. So instead, they kept him with the team, and I'm pretty sure those games counted against him. It drives because they ran into this problem late last year where they were the guy who went to Pepperdine that I really enjoyed watching. They didn't have they had to get rid of him because he had just been on the roster for games when it didn't matter, and they should have sent him back to Frisco to play for the G League team or to play for. But it's I don't know. I could be wrong. The fact that we are having to account like this is annoying.
Yeah, no, it's not a concern. It's not a worry. They'll sort it out. They'll do what they need to do. Because, would anyone really complain if they waived and stretched Hardy's contract?
No.
whatever has to happen will happen. Like he looks like someone that could be a part of this team.
Yep.
I mean, what an amazing. You was talking before about, you know, PJ, Cooper, and AD as your sort of defensive back line. Is that strong enough to have a Kyrie Nemby backcourt? That could be interesting.
But I want to watch it.
No.
Like it's not, but I still want to watch it.
For sure.
I'd rather try it
sure.
and be wrong. So
Definitely.
all right, boss.
But yeah, No, I'm all good, Kirk. I really appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, well, we'll hopefully talk in a week after the Mavericks beat Brooklyn. So you enjoy your week and your weekend, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Sounds good, Kirk. Thanks, buddy.
All right. This has been Kirk Henderson here with Pod Maverick. Josh won't be back until the next Monday. That just sort of worked out that way. Yeah. So I hope everybody has a nice weekend. I have to go to Frisco tomorrow to watch 9-year-old basketball. Should be really I score keep, so I don't yell. Everybody be good. Talk to you soon. Go Mavs.